Hey everyone, very good evening to all of you. My name is Virender and welcome to all my YouTube channel, which is Cloud by V. In this today's video, we are going to walk through a very important Azure lab, which is basically on the topic as you have already seen on the title of the video and in the thumbnail as well, that we are going to create virtual machines and we are going to apply some locks so that we will be able to manage the resources in such a way that what happens in today's industry in so many organizations, they have created different virtual machines on the Azure portal and they want to make a secure environment which is basically related to the security of the virtual machines and how they can manage the resources efficiently. This is the thing which we are going to learn in this specific video today. So whether you are preparing for any Azure certification like Azure 104 certification, this video will be helpful for you. If you are a student, then you will be learning how to create virtual machines and how to apply locks on the resources so that you will be able to protect your resources from the accidental deletion, as well as you will be able to learn so how exactly this Azure portal looks like and how exactly the things are in this Azure portal basically. So I will be showing you step by step process basically, so that you will be able to understand exactly that how things works in the real world, right? So let me just give you an overview for this specific lab, that what exactly the purpose of this lab over here. So the lab will basically demonstrate the essential resource management in Azure so that you will be able to understand how exactly you can protect your critical resources like virtual machines from accidental deletion or maybe from the modification, right? So this lab is very important, whether you are working as a cloud administrator or you are working as a DevOps. So maybe you are planning or maybe you are preparing to enter inside this IT field, right? So these Azure virtual machines are basically used for the different purposes. You can use these virtual machines for host your application. You can run your development environments. You can run your testing processes, and hence, once you create these virtual machines and your workload is running on the virtual machine, you can implement those locks so that you will be able to ensure that the resources critical to operations will not be accidentally modified or deleted by any specific user or any specific resource, right? So which is basically a very common, you can say, concern in the production environment, right? So but where exactly this scenario fits into the broader picture of the IT industry, that is specifically useful in the scenarios like disaster recovery. You will be able to protect your resources so that you will not be able to lose maximum in your resources. You will be able to protect the resources and you can also manage the cost as well, right? What will the outcome of the lab? So by the end of this lab, you will be learning how to deploy a virtual machine in Azure. You will be learning how to use logs to prevent your unwanted changes to the resources, and then we'll clean up the resources at the end of the lab, right? Main pointers will be deploying an Ubuntu based virtual machine. We will be securing the virtual machine with a delete lock and a resource group with a read only lock basically. We will be understanding that how to prevent accidental changes to the resources using logs, and then we'll clean up this entire products or maybe the resources which we are going to create. So what exactly we need to perform in the very first step? I log in. Yes. So this is the Microsoft Azure portal. It's a web-based console. You can see over here. So there is a section of view all resources over here. If you click on this view all resources, you will be able to see that what are all the resources which are running in your current account or in the environment of the organization. Right now, I do not have any resources running over here. So I will go to the home over here and I will click on this create a resource option over here. So once you click on this create resource option over here, so many different categories you can see over here. So we are going to create a virtual machine. So in this search bar, you can just search for virtual machine, and here it is. And it will take you to the marketplace of the Microsoft Azure, and it will give you the options of the different options available for the virtual machine, that you can create a virtual machine, you can create virtual machine skill set. I will be explaining what are virtual machine skill sets, what are the benefit of virtual machine skill sets in the upcoming sessions. how to create a free account virtual machine and different virtual machine concepts, Azure Arc we will be explaining. But exactly these all topics are available one by one. I will be covering all the topics in my YouTube channel. So please subscribe my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon button so that whenever a new tutorial will be uploaded on the channel, you will get a notification and you will not miss out. So I will click on this virtual machine option over here. Now you need to fill out some important details which are related to your virtual machine, in which the very first thing you can see over here, you just need to click on this create virtual machine. And yes, now the process you need to follow to create a virtual machine in the Azure portal. Now, what exactly this virtual machine is, I have already told you that virtual machines are nothing but the physical servers in the backend in the Azure infrastructures or in the Azure data centers. Those physical servers are known as virtual machines. If we are creating the same configuration of a physical server over the internet, that's why we called it as a virtual machine, right? Because it follows the virtualization process as well, in which you can use this virtual machine with the, and you can use multiple things on this virtual machine. Basically you can that is another topic, and that virtualization topic is a separate topic. I will be covering that in on another day. But yes, for as of now, let me just make it a little bit big. So very first thing is that first, you need to choose a subscription. A subscription is basically a kind of, you can have an organization subscription as well, and you can have an individual subscription as well. So once you take a subscription from Azure, whenever you create a new account on Microsoft Azure, your account will be considered as a free tier account for maybe for 2 months, and you will get some credits from the Azure. In that, you can take or you can create some resources free of cost, but after that, you need to choose a subscription, right? So this PSG Labs 2 subscription, which I have taken over here, in this specific subscription, what will happen? Whatever the resources I will be creating in terms of database, storage, or virtual machine, anything, I will be charged according to that subscription values only. Then we have this section of resource group over here. So we already have created this resource group over here. We will be selecting this resource group. What is this resource group? You can click on this create new as well, and once one new resource group you can also create. As you can see, the definition that resource group is a container that basically holds the related resources for an Azure solution. So for an example, that in your organization there are multiple teams are working, few developers are working, few DevOps are working, few maybe admins are working. So you can create multiple resource groups, that one group will be followed by the developers only, one group will be followed by the DevOps teams only. So the resources they will be creating in the separate resource groups, that's you have to select over here. Then you can give a name to your virtual machine. In our case, let's give name as my virtual machine over here, and you need to select a region over here. Now in this specific use case, we have selected this East US, so we are not going to change this, but exactly this region is basically, region is nothing but a geographical boundary, which is a very static definition from this Azure cloud. But to understand better about it, is just like a physical location where exactly this Microsoft Azure has organized their infrastructure in the backend in terms of different data centers. That is what is your region is, and inside those regions, they have divided that region into multiple areas named as different availability zones. So you can select an availability zone depending on your use case. As of now, Microsoft Azure provides you three different options. Like you can select an availability zone, virtual machine scale set, and your availability set. So if you're selecting an availability zone, that basically physically separate your resources within an Azure region. If we have selected US East US region, in which that there will be an availability zone in which this virtual machine is going to be start. Then you can select virtual machine scale set. It will be able to distribute your virtual machines across different availability zones and different fault domains, as well as it will take advantage of the scaling part as well, which means if anything happens in a specific area where one copy of your virtual machine is being created by Microsoft Azure, if that area or maybe that specific environment is going on update, or maybe any issues happen, another area will have another copy of your virtual machine will be up and running. So it will be having kind of the facility for your organization, that you will have a high availability in terms of the resources which are running on your Microsoft Azure account. Then we have this availability set. This option will automatically distribute your virtual machines across multiple fault domains. So I'm going to select this availability zone as of now, and the zone options are available. You can select self-selected zone in which you can choose up to 3 availability zones and then one virtual machine per zone basically. In our case, I'm selecting this zone 1. Now the security type given over here. In the security type, I have selected this trusted launch virtual machine, or you can have multiple options over here. You can choose this standard, which is a very basic level of security for your virtual machines. I have selected trusted launch virtual machines, in which this is going to be protect your virtual machine with the generation 2 virtual machines from the advanced attacks over the internet and the different possible attacks which can be happen on your virtual machine. It is going to be secure your virtual machine from those attacks, and you can have this confidential virtual machines as well, which is a very high priority security type for your virtual machines, in which the confidentiality of your virtual machines will be managed by the Microsoft Azure, and higher confidentiality and integrity will be guaranteed by Microsoft Azure, as well as the hardware based trust also will be given to you for those virtual machines. So it will be very high level of security by Microsoft Azure. So I'm going to select this trusted launch virtual machines over here. Operating system image you need to select. In our case, let's select Ubuntu Server 20.404 LTS generation 2. Sorry for the fumbling. You can select different operating systems, like you can select my Windows operating system or any other operating system as well. I'm going to select this Ubuntu Server. What should be your VM architecture? So my VM architecture should be 64. And then do you want to run this specific virtual machine with the help of spot discount, right? So this is another topic of Azure spot type of virtual machines, or you can call it as spot VMs as well. I will be covering this topic in another video, so don't worry about that. It's just that you will be getting a very less amount of bill or charge from Microsoft Azure if you are using spot discount virtual machines. For type of workloads which can handle disruption, you can use the spot discount option available. Then you have to select size of your virtual machine. So let's select, let's see all the sizes available. So I'm going to select this B2S general purpose size over here. Let me see. Standard B2S size of the virtual machine I'm going to select over here, in which 2 virtual CPUs I will be getting and 4 GB of memory I will be getting, and 2526.46 Indian rupees per month I need to pay to the Microsoft Azure to run this specific virtual machine. Then we have this authentication type option available, in which let me just select this password over here, and you can create a username of your choice. So I will be going to name as username only, and you can select a password. Username at 123 I am providing. Okay, so this username and password we will be using to access this virtual machine basically. Then we have this inbound port rules available. Like you can configure your inbound rules in such a way that you are specifying that okay, SSH will be allowed on my virtual machine, that anyone from anywhere will be able to SSH inside my virtual machine or not. This is what you are selecting, and leave everything default and just click on this next, which is the part of the disk basically. Now you will be selecting the disk size or what type of disk you want basically. So I'm going to select this standard SSD over here, the standard solid state drive I want for my virtual machines, right? So there is no need to select any premium hard disk drive or any solid state drive for a very simple lab environment. But according to the requirement of the organization, you can have premium SSDs as well and the standard SSD as well. Now we have this operating system disk size. Automatically 30 gigabits of size will be given provided to my standard SSD, which I'm selecting right now. Then we have this key management option available over here. Now You can also manage the key which is basically related to your virtual machine, and this key is basically will be used to securely access your virtual machine. That is also, you can have the key management platform managed key. I'm selecting over here, which we can have multiple options available, but these two options are not available right now from the customer side keys and customer managed keys basically. So I'm giving this responsibility to basically Microsoft Azure, that automatically once I will delete this virtual machine, automatically you can manage this key as well. And this SSD will also be detached from my virtual machine once I will delete this virtual machine. So that is delete with virtual machine of this disk type basically, right? And next, just click on this networking. Nothing to select over here. It's leave is at by default in which network you want to create a virtual machine. I will click on this review and create over here, and let's see. You can review the settings which you have done for your virtual machine, and once you will be completing the review for your virtual machine, all the details are good, and then just click on this create option over here. In just couple of seconds your virtual machine will be created. It is in right now in the initializing, and now it is submitting in the deployment status. Deployment is in progress. You can see over here that your virtual machine is basically in the installing state, and once it will become in the running state, then we'll be moved towards the next topic, which is related to the lock part basically. Now you can see virtual machine is created and the status is okay for my virtual machine. So my virtual machine, go to resource. This is my virtual machine which I have created right now. All the details of my virtual machine are given over here. Now let's again go to the home over here, and let's click on this creator resource again. And this time I will be searching over here for the logs, and I will hit enter over here. And let me just close it over here. Let me just go to again home over here. And let me just open this my virtual machine over here. And there should be an option. Let me just check where is that option available. So if you go to these three dots over here, there is a section of different options available for your virtual machine. Here over here, you can just search for the log over here. It will give you this option of the logs available over here. And once you will go to the virtual machine logs over here, there is no logs available right now. So you just click on this add option over here. You need to provide name for your log and your log type basically. So let me just give name as it's my log. And what should be your log type over here is that you have two options available, which is first is the read only and second is the delete. So I'm going to make a log which is a delete log, so that this virtual machine is not going to be accidentally deleted by a user or any other resource which is in the my organization or in my Azure account basically. And do you provide any notes that we can provide or not, it's your choice basically. So let me just write over here is that this is for protection of VM, and click on this OK button over here. So if you try to delete the virtual machine, you will get the specific error over here. Let me just go to my virtual machine over here. This is my virtual machine, and let me just try to delete this virtual machine. Let me just open this virtual machine from here. Let me just try to delete it. We are applying all these things. This virtual machine can be safely force deleted because of the associated resource being deleted. I have read all these things, and let me just click on this delete option over here. And let's see if we will be able to delete the virtual machine or not. and if we are getting any error or not while we are deleting this virtual machine. Okay, let me just refresh this. Okay, nothing happens. Let me again go to the virtual machine section over here. Let me refresh over here as well. So you can see that failed to delete the virtual machine as we have created a lock, and that lock is preventing our virtual machine from the accidental deletion. That is the lock which we have created for specifically for our virtual machine only. Now we need to create another lock, and that lock will be related to the resource group log, the resource group which we have created, and inside that resource group in which we have created our virtual machine, let me show you this rg east us resource group we have created. Inside this group our virtual machine is running basically. So I will again open my virtual machine from here. I will go to these three dots over here. I will again search for log over here, and let's go to the log section. Now this time we need to create a read only log for the resource group itself, right? So that we are basically creating multiple logs we are creating. One log will be on the virtual machine directly, and second log we are creating on the virtual machine, or sorry, on for the resource group which we have created. Let me just click on this add over here, and now this time this is rg log, and now we will provide the read only access for the resource group. So if anyone is having the accessibility for the resource group or for the virtual machine or any resource inside this resource group, they will only be able to read the content or read the resources which are inside this rg east us resource group. They will not be able to delete or edit the resources which inside this resource group. So the similar error you will be having if there a user tries to modify the resources. So this is because we have implemented these logs on the resources and the resource group as well, right? Now to delete the resources, we need to click on the virtual machine again, go to the virtual machine, and again you can go to the virtual machine, again you can go to the log, and you can delete the logs as well. Now first you need to delete the logs from here. Let me just delete this log and delete this resource log group log as well, and let me just delete. Okay, let's just refresh it. The parent resource logs can't be edited over here. Click on the logs scope to go to that scope. Okay, okay, let me just again try, and then will be okay, that is deleted. Refresh it, and okay, both of the logs are deleted over here. Now I will again go to my virtual machine, and this time I will again try to delete my virtual machine, and let's see if we will be able to delete the virtual machine or not. And I have read all the instructions carefully, and let me just click on this delete. So if this time we're able to delete the resource, that means we have done all the things correctly, and this is how we can create a resource log, that is the virtual machine log, and we can create a resource group log as well. That is basically dual factor protection we are creating in terms of to protect our virtual machines in the Microsoft Azure environment, right? So I hope everything is clear to all of you, and if you have any questions you can put it in the comment box, and you can share this video with your friends who are learning Microsoft Azure cloud. I will be providing more and more videos on the different topics of the Microsoft Azure. As you can see, successfully deleted the virtual machine. So we have done this lab very correctly. Fine. So users can choose from a wide range of virtual machine sizes. You can choose different configurations of your virtual machine, CPU, memory, what storage you want. What are the different networking capabilities you want for your virtual machine? So Azure Virtual Machine supports both Windows and Linux operating systems, so that you can use in the diverse fields or the diverse environments, and the different resources you can use for the different virtual machines inside Microsoft Azure. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the video and you have learned a new thing to implement in your own environment as well, Do hit the like button and comment out if you have any suggestions or if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching my video. My name is Virendra and welcome and bye bye from the Cloud by B. Thank you so much. Take care.